Hey guys, we're here at GDC and I'm with Daniel Gaffon. It's about as best as I can pronounce that.
It's fine.
And he is the developer of Symmetrain, which is a game that's actually been out for a while, since what, like November or December?
Early November last year.
So it's been out for a few months, but it was just recently nominated for the IGF student competition, is that right?
That's correct.
Cool. And so he's out here at GDC, showing off the game at IGF and going around doing the GDC thing. And is this your first time at GDC?
This is my first time, I'd say, at the real GDC.
The real GDC.
I've been to GDC Europe 2011.
Uh-huh.
That was a very nice experience as well, because even back then the guys from Lambier were there.
Oh, yeah.
So I got to know a few people there. But,
Oh, cool.
San Francisco is definitely different, not also because of the city, but I mean the people, there's many more people here.
Mm-hmm.
The vibe is completely different.
Vibe, yeah, for sure. So we had a little kind of get together last night, and you were there, and you were kind of showing off your game, and felt like everybody who saw it wanted to like play it.
Yeah.
And so it's got this really unique look to it. And so, well, look, why don't we jump in and play a game real quick, just so anyone who hasn't played this yet can kind of see what it's like. I would describe it as like an endless runner mixed with a spot the difference game.
That's pretty much it.
Yeah, which is a really interesting combination, but it works really well. So why don't you just jump into a level and show us your skills. I know you're really good at this. So
yeah, well, then I'll take even one of the later trains.
Yeah, maybe start off with one of a little bit quicker trains. It starts off slow. You have even a hand cart, right? That goes like
the
really
hand
slow.
cart is actually kind of a bonus.
Uh-huh.
Although I specifically, because it's super slow and it almost doesn't really generate any points at all. You get just 1 point for doing something correct. I wanted to have it in there because I saw little kids playing with it and they had a lot of fun with it, and I was really like, I want that in there, even though it may be super boring for many people. And then again, you hear some talking about how it's so nice and relaxing to play that hand card. So
it's like the Zen mode.
Yeah, exactly. So I'll take the cargo train, which is kind of intermediate. And every train has a different setting and crosses different landscapes. Sometimes they overlap in the sense that there's similarities between the landscapes, so there's not really a unique landscape to every train, but kind of as if they were starting from the same train station, and then they're running at different speeds and crossing different paths.
So it kind of makes all the locations feel a little cohesive.
Yeah, exactly.
And so, it's hard to tell just from the capture, but what you're doing is you're tapping on anything that's different on either side of the track, and the goal is to make, symmetrical, hence the name of the game, so that the items match on both sides.
Exactly.
And it just kind of it ramps up in speed as you hit each new train station, correct?
Correct. And also there's a kind of different setting for the difficulty for each of the trains, but also after each train station, the difficulty it doesn't always ramp up exactly linear, because that would be really boring.
Right.
But there's quite an increase after a while, and it does get really hectic after a while.
Yeah.
Until to the point where you're really overwhelmed and you feel like you cannot beat the game.
Yeah.
I've heard people saying that this really frustrates them, and there's others that really love that kind of feeling of like, I can get further than this. This is
they wanted to go back and try again.
Yeah. Has this, I don't know, for some people not being, this is the classic, you will never be able to beat the game kind of game. Right. So, but then again, there's people that really want to have the satisfaction of being able to beat the whole game and like always be good at it, and always that kind of sweet spot. That was kind of difficult really with the testing or also the design to find that.
Yeah.
I think we got a pretty nice point at the moment.
Yeah, that's a challenge for any game, really, is finding that balance. But so, how's the added difficulty of talking while playing?
It is.
You're still doing pretty good.
There's this really funny Let's Play video of Symmetrain of mine, and the guy did a perfect job because maybe not perfect job in the sense of being able to talk while playing the game, but the nice thing is that at a certain point he really is just kind of using archaic sounds like no, and it's so hilarious. I love that Let's Play video.
Okay, so that's kind of what the game is about, is making the matches on each side and make sure everything lines up. So let's talk about the art style, because you did the entire art for the game, right?
Exactly.
And one of the things that I noticed last night when I was checking this out is, how things are kind of, ingrained into the environment itself. And so I saw this little speaker right here that's kind of pumping out some tunes, and I thought that's neat. And then I tapped it and it went away, and so that's like the sound control. And then like this little collection of balloons on that billboard is the Game Center icon if you look at it.
Correctly.
And so you really didn't want to have like a bunch of menu stuff and UI stuff in the way to kind of distract from the actual art style.
Exactly. That was one reason Interestingly enough, I have a bit of experience in the UI and the interaction design field. I've worked on other apps as a contractor and freelancer, and for some reason I found it a lot more difficult to design a working UI for a game that's this kind of integrated. For me, it was after a while really apparent why it's the easier option to do that standard thing, because obviously there's a lot of things in this interface and also the menu here that are really well or almost too well hidden. There's a Twitter bird.
Yeah.
And
so you have to worry about people being able to find that kind of stuff.
I wasn't really worried about it because sometimes I find it too much in your face that I mean, I know it helps to have people post in the social networks and promote your game, but sometimes you feel like a bit offended when it's like, please write this app.
Definitely.
Please tweet about this app.
Yeah.
So I was like, I want to have this in there, but maybe a bit more like a gimmick, something that feels good when you find it. So every once in a while, I go into my Twitter search and look, and sometimes people find it, and I'm like, oh,
and
cool,
they're tweeting
someone
about
found
it. Yeah, cool.
There's even more in this, and I'll spill the beans in that a bit too for everyone, because this is basically, even the menu is to spot the difference in that same way. The people that were like kind of the credits are also in there. There's no screen where you can just read the names.
Yeah.
So you can look around and then you'll see there are some people that are only on one side and not on the other. For example, I'll highlight this one because he's important. That's my brother who wrote and recorded the music.
Yeah.
He'll just tap on the person and then you get a little speech bubble with the name and what the person did.
That's so funny. So it's like they're actually in the game as little people.
Yeah, exactly.
That's very clever. So so why don't we jump into, you want to go to like the hardest train and just kind of
we can try that.
See what happens when you crank up the volume?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, so this is like a bullet train, right?
This is a bullet train, kind of like Shinkansen inspired. And this one is kind of the one that, when you reach this one, it runs through all the landscapes that are available in the game.
That's okay. That's okay.
Wonderful thing is with game development, I find, especially with this sort of game. After a while, I mean, at first you're like in the top spot because, of course, you're the developer.
Yeah.
I already know.
That's okay. You're trying to talk.
But after a while, there's people that are like so much better than you.
Yeah.
And you think like, how is this possible? How did I do that? So I I really like that part too. Would love to see, I'd say, some of the pros play my own game, and then I'll be like, whoa, I didn't know that was possible.
Right, yeah. I didn't know you could do that well.
Yeah.
That's funny. So, okay, well, Symmetrain, like we said, has been out for a few months now, and it's like $1, right? It's like 99 cents?
99 cents.
Cheap. It's a really fun concept for a game. It makes a perfect mobile game, and as you can see, the art style is really cool. And so, yeah, Daniel, thank you so much for stopping by and kind of talking about it and giving us a taste of it. And congratulations on the nominations with the IGF and everything.
Thank you, Jared. Thank you for having me. It's
Cool.
a pleasure.
Thanks a lot.